More fallout on the back of that case involving the nurse. Some people have commented and said, well, there's all these administrators and managers, and they're all getting massive pensions, and that doesn't seem right because they have been derelict in their duty. Um, which again, is probably something that will be the subject of inquiries. Um, but can they actually be stripped of their pension? Well, yes, but only in very specific circumstances. The first step is that they have to be convicted of an offence relevant to their employment, i.e., their work in the NHS, um, of such seriousness that, in the opinion of the Secretary of State, it lowers confidence in the service. Okay, so um, part of something that's objective, is there a conviction, and then part something subjective, what does the Secretary of State think? So yeah, what could what convictions might be likely? Well, we've discussed gross negligence manslaughter as a possibility, more in relation to the sort of corporate homicide, corporate manslaughter aspects. But if they could find one person who had made such a grievous error that it was it contributed to the actual death. I mean, this is the thing for gross negligence manslaughter. It doesn't have to be the sole cause of death. It just has to contribute because, by definition, somebody else actually carried out the act. But it's, but for your incompetence, could we have actually got to that stage? So that is the test there. I mean, there are other offences. There's possible health and safety breaches. There's probably sort of various NHS offences. So that would be hurdle number one. And then the Secretary of State would have to make that decision. Is that challengeable? Well, yes. A person who was aggrieved by such a decision could judicially review that and say, well, hang on, my offence wasn't so serious, or some other technical ground. But how common are these? We'll put it this way: I got this information by reading somebody else's freedom of information request, and they said they couldn't say exactly how many times this had happened because if it's fewer than 5, there's a risk it would identify individuals involved. So by definition, then we know it's fewer than 5. So this is a far from common occurrence. But like I say, first of all, there's the hurdle that somebody would actually have to be convicted of offences before we even get that stage. But yeah, anyway, hope that sort of clears that up as much as possible. If you found that useful or helpful, please consider clicking the like button, subscribing and sharing.